All right, moving on. Skill 5, we're cooking now. Let me tell you, by the time you get to skill 5, in your process of personal growth as well, this is really the skill that you would be doing as an expert person. But the reason we've got to go through it is because as you're getting started, you need to know what's supposed to happen so that when you are at that point where you are that expert person, you can be a great example to your new members in providing that exact duplication so that they can see what to do and how to do it. So skill 5, you know, for many of you, it's going to be somebody else is going to be that expert person that's actually going to be handling this. This will be that follow-up phone call or that follow-up one-on-one where we're sitting down. But when you're doing that, this is really about helping your new person become a customer associate. So that's skill 5, helping your new person become a customer or an associate. And so the first thing we're going to do is at the bottom left of the page that you're looking at, you are going to see a couple of forms. One of them is a customer enrollment form. The other is an associate form. And those have got a couple of packages that we've kind of put together that are on there. And the idea is that they can see that it's simple with the form. So you want to send your prospect a copy of whichever appropriate form they need. Send them both if you need to. Maybe they're not sure if they want to do the business or not, but they're sure they're interested in the products. Then send them both. And then we can talk through both of those situations with your expert. If you weren't able to send the form, at least make sure that whenever you have your follow-up conversation, they're going to be near a computer or something so that you can just shoot it to them in an email real quick and they can pull it up and have it right in front of them while you're talking through it. That's going to help make it a lot simpler for you as you're moving forward. Again, this is about creating some simplicity and about allowing your brand new person to see how simple it is because you brought them to the table with someone else who's answering their question. It's critically important that when you bring in your expert person, that you edify them properly, that you give them 2 or 3 reasons or a little bit of their past experience of your expert so that your prospect has a reason to trust and listen to what they have to say. It might be something along the lines of, you know, Matt's been doing this business for several years. He's made a lot of money with the business and has helped a lot of other people achieve their dreams. And since he knows a little bit more about this than I do, I want to let him answer your questions so that you're getting the best information possible. Do you see how that kind of just sets me apart and it puts that new person, you, out of the way so that I can help answer the question or your expert can help answer the questions of your new prospect. And of course, your expert's going to spend a minute or two and just build some relationship, build some rapport, with that person, asking some questions, find out who they are, find out what they liked, what they didn't like, a little bit taking them through the process again, just so they can kind of see and kind of build some connection, relatability with each other. But then the close is going to look exactly like this. And this is on page 98 and 99 of GoPro. It's just a 4-question close. And here's what that looks like. Is how much money do you want to make per month for this to be worth your while? And let them answer. How much money do you want to make per month for this to be worth your while? And they're going to come up with some kind of an answer. Now, here's where you also have to kind of clarify and respond, because if they're telling you, well, I want to make $2,000 a week, okay, and maybe in their job that they're spending 40 to 60 hours a week, they're making maybe $1,000 a week. And so when they tell you that their expectation for it to be worth their time is to make twice as much money as they're making in their job, but yet they're only going to be working 5 to 10 hours a week part-time to doing it, that really doesn't make sense, does it? So sometimes you kind of have to back up and talk them through what it is. But many times the response will be something like, man, if I could make $300 a month or $400 a month, something like that, and this would really be worth my time. Okay, then we still want to establish that expectation, relative to where they are in life and how much time they're putting in on what it can take to get them down to that point. And so the next question would be, was how much time would you be willing to put in to make that kind of an income? Okay, so again, if they're going to go back and say, well, I want to make $2,000 a month, but they're only willing to put in 2 hours a week, that's not a likely thing that's going to happen. It's just simple mathematics. That's not likely to happen relative to the amount of time that they spend, in their job and career making a significantly less amount of money, okay? Or maybe they say, well, I want to make, I want to make $300 or $400 a week. Well, how much time are you willing to put in? Well, if I could put in, 5 to 10 hours a week consistently, could I get to where I'm making, that $300, $400 a month of income? Yeah, that's more of a realistic expectation. We can help get them to that point. And so, establish that in the beginning, because you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. That's never the situation you want to be in. What you want to do is you want to underpromise and overdeliver. Give them a level of expectation that they're comfortable with and that they can feel like they can do, and then you pour it on with the support so that they feel an abundance of how much support and how much more that you're giving to help make that happen. And so that's going to help that person feel more comfortable, more confident, and of course help them move through the process even that much faster. Third question, okay, is how many months would you be willing to work to get it to that level of income? Now, so many times we live in this microwave society, people have short timers disease. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but you do see some people that, they get started with something and, they're not an instantaneous success, and so then they quit. And, I use an example like so many people take up golf. Well, they'll take up golf and maybe they play for a month or two and they get frustrated, and so then they just, the clubs are for sale in a garage sale, right? Because they just gave up on it. Oh, it's just too hard. It's the same thing. This takes time and this takes skill to develop as they start moving forward. So you got to help establish that as well. I always want a minimum of a 12-month commitment. If someone says, hey, I'm willing to commit 12 months to putting in 5 to 10 hours a week, and if I can do that and I can establish myself where I'm making X amount of bucks per week or per month, as far as where that is, I'm willing to commit to do what I'm supposed to do along that track record. That's somebody that you want, because that's someone that's at least thinking down the road and at least thinking long term. You want to stretch them a little bit here too. Maybe start throwing out, what would it look like 3 years from now if we did this, this, and this, and you had a team of this, you had a team of this. That's all moving through that process. You want to stretch them a little bit to start thinking way past this next weekend and way past this next month. But really what it can look like 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road if they really took this seriously and start moving forward. I can remember when I was first starting, one of my mentors looked me square in the eye and he said, Matt, if you take this seriously, you'll never mow another yard, you'll never dig another hole, you'll never plant another tree again. Again, my background was landscape contracting. And I've never forgotten that. And I've got to tell you, with the exception of things that I've done around the house, never planted another tree, never had to dig another hole, never had to do any of those kinds of things, because the business really does work. So you want to help stretch them to really think about what that can look like. That was question 3. Question 4, if I can help you do that, are you ready to get started today? This is where they're going to be at this crossroads, the decision process. If I can help you do that, would you be ready to get started today? And if you've met all those criteria and given them realistic expectations, the answer is most likely yes. Okay? So here's the 4 questions again. How much money per month are you looking to make so that this is worth your time, so this is worth your while? Okay? How much time are you willing to spend to make that kind of income? Question 3, how many months are you willing to commit to get there? And question 4, if I can help you do that, are you ready to get started today? And that's it. And so for those of you who are being the expert person, this is probably one of those videos you want to watch 3, 4, 5 times so that you're comfortable as you're mentoring your new people who are bringing new team members to you, for you to be that expert person so that you've got those 4 questions down, that you're doing the massaging of the conversations and relationship building that's in the in-between phase. And for those of you getting started and you're using an expert person, you also want to make sure that you're practicing that edification. Listening, learning, absorbing what you're hearing from your expert person so that you're prepared and ready to be that expert for your future team members. We're almost there, guys. We're having a great time. We'll be back in just a few minutes.